Chadasha, what is the
Recording
level
in
of
progress.
the new type of heavens and a new type of earth, after explaining that the heavens and the earth is referring to different levels and different divisions, whether it's heavens is Torah mitzvahs, Yidden are considered earth, or we refer to the level in Torah versus mitzvahs. Torah is the heavens, mitzvahs is the earth, or in Torah itself, written Torah, Torah Shebiksav versus Torah Shebal Peh, is the heavens versus the earth. However, we translate it, however we explain it, but we said that when Mashiach comes, there's going to be Shamayim Chadashim V'Aretz Chadashim. And then we started saying that even though all types of Amshachas up till now are only can reach in the level of Seder Ishtalshalos, all the way up to Chitzonius Atik, even though there is, before the creation of the world, even then it was thanks to Hashem picturing what's going to be in the future, that's why we were, the Hamshachas came about even at the beginning of Seder Ishtalshalos. So everything was a level up till Mashiach's times that is dependent and a result of what we do. So that's why it's only Chitzonius Atik. As opposed to that, he's going to explain now on the 7th page of the Maimer, line 7, about Mashiach's times. In the future, when Mashiach comes, Yagil, B'chinas Pnimius Atik, we will reach to the inner level of Atik Yomin. That it's drawing down this new way of an inspiration from above that's totally beyond the level of an inspiration below. In other words, it's something that we cannot reach that level through our avoid. And that's the difference between Shemaim Kisi. We're talking about the external level of Atik Yomin. Atik Yomin being the inner level of Kasher. So he says, Kimshal HaYoshev ala Kisi. This is, for example, like someone sitting on a chair. What comes down? Only the back of the person, only the external part of the person, that's what comes down on the chair. Versus Lashamayim Va'aretz HaChadoshim Shebehem Ksiv Oimdim Lefonai, concerning the new heavens and the new earth. It doesn't say it's a level of Kisei. Kisei means the external level sits down. It's rather an inner level. It's that it says Oimdim Lefonai, they're standing before me. Lefonai Daike, specifically before me. It could also mean internally, that the level of Shemayim and Kis and Shemayim Va'aretz of Mashiach's times is from the inner level of Atik. That's so higher to no end, from the level of the back and the external level. Just like when Mashiach comes, there'll be an unbelievable elevation in the drawing down of godliness. That will be the level of Pnimius Atik versus everything up till Mashiach's times is the level of Chitzonius Atik. Keinu Gamba Torah. Similarly, it's also in Torah as well that will be completely above and beyond the Torah of now. That in the future it will be the revelation of Torah in a greater and higher way, incomparably over the revelation of Torah the way it is now. Like the Rebbe always brings the Maimer Chazal, that's Torah Chadasha Me'ititetze. That Mashiach comes, the Torah that will come out will be a new Torah. What's going to be different about the Torah then? So he says in line 20, that then will be revealed the secrets of its reasons and its concealed, hidden things. On the pasuk in Shir Hashirim that it says that Hashem will kiss me from the kisses of his mouth. What's the idea of kisses? kisses, goes on the level of the revelation from the inside, from the innermost level. In other words, the innermost secrets of the Torah. That's something incomparably higher than what the Torah is now. Like it's brought down the Medrash Rabbah and Kehelas. That the present day Torah is insignificant. It's like a breath of air. It's of no substance in comparison to the Torah of Mashiach's times. So we said, just like the revelation of godliness, so too Torah. In other words, different meanings of Shemayim and Haaretz. Revelation of godliness will be greater when Mashiach comes. Torah will be greater when Mashiach comes. And also, Yidden will be greater. So too it's concerning the Neshamas of Yidden. In addition to the fact that the reason, the purpose for which the neshama descended down here below, which was for the sake of a greater ascent before it comes down here below. The whole descent was for the sake of an ascent. So that's going to become revealed when Mashiach comes. So that already is a much greater aspect and component of the neshama than what it would be without or prior to Mashiach's times. In addition to that, when Mashiach comes, will come down new neshamas from the inner level of Atik. A whole neshamas that weren't ever here before will come down when Mashiach comes. So the Rebbe says that really there is a certain type of similarity that we find even now. So the Rebbe says in the brackets, line 28, 2 lines in the bottom, to note, though it says about the period of time, in other words, when Talmidei Chachamim engage in union with their wives, which is the Talmidei Chachamim's time is Friday night. So it says they are mamshichim neshamas chadashes. They draw down neshamas chadashes is brought down in Kabbalah. So why are you telling me that something unique to Mashiach's times, that are something much higher, that we're going to have neshamas chadashes? It's explained in L'Kutei Torah from Sefer HaGilgulim. Then this itself, there's many different levels. In other words, just to give one example of this, there is neshamas chadashes, new neshamas, in the sense that they were never yet in this world. They're not Gilgulim. The vast majority of the neshamas in our latter generations, Chassidus, Kabbalah brings down, are all Gilgulim. They're recycled neshamas. They were neshamas that were here before that still have things to fix up. There are certain great neshamas, unbelievable neshamas. These are neshamas that didn't come to fix up something that they did or missed out in the previous Gilgul. They are new neshamas. They are neshamas that this is the first time that they're coming down here in Olam Hazeh. That is one aspect of neshamas chadashes, one definition. These neshamas chadashes, they are not truly chadashes, because even these neshamas chadashes are neshamas that were part of the neshama klolis of Adam Rishon. So in a certain way, even though they're chadash in the fact that this is the first time around that they have come down into this world, but they are not totally, truly chadash, because they were here they were already down here in this world, part of Adam Rishon. He says, but for neshamas chadashes mamish, when it comes to mamish neshamas chadashes, that they were not included even in the neshamas of Adam Arishon, Yom Shechu Rak La'asid Lave will only come down in the future. So the Rebbe is in other words explaining that just like it'll be a new Gilui Lakus, Shamayim Chadashim, and the Shamayim Chadashim also means a new Gilui in Torah. The same thing, there will be a new Gilui in Neshamas Yisrael, because there'll be totally new Neshamas when Mashiach comes. Let's have a glance, just very interesting, on the sidebar, on the side of the page, the right side of the page, in line 7, that he quotes the Likutei Torah, where he says essentially what we were saying. That when Mashiach comes, it'll come down new neshamas that are even higher, that are even from the level of Yechida Sheba Adam Harishon. They were even higher than the Yechida of the ultimate man, the one that was Kol all neshamas. Like it's brought down in Sefer Gilgulim, the major book on Gilgulim from the Arizal. It says over there, this is the quote from the Sefer Gilgulim. You should know, there are two general categories of neshamas. Aleph, those that were part of Adam Harishon. There are those neshamas that are weren't ever part of Adam Harishon. And these neshamas are higher and more elevated than all the neshamas that were included in Adam Harishon, and that's going to come out, the Rebbe says in the Pnim, when Mashiach comes. That's why in Mashiach's times, the neshamas chadashes will be of a completely different level of newness, not like the neshamas chadashes that it says comes from the union of Talmidei Chacham on Friday nights. Derech Agav, there is a ha'ara of the Rebbe in his famous Kuntras in Yanish al Torah's Chassidus, on the essence of Chassidus, that he says that the Alter Rebbe, that's brought down in different places in Chassidus from Friedrich Rebbe, I believe, that the Alter Rebbe was a neshama chadasha. The Rebbe brings in a footnote in Kuntras in Yanish Torah's Chassidus that the neshama chadasha of the Alter Rebbe was not like the lower level of neshama chadasha, meaning that he was a neshama chadasha that never came down here into this world in a Gilgul, but rather he is a neshama chadasha like the neshamas of Mashiach's times that were never part of Adam Harishon. Anyway, let's get back to the text itself. Line 5 in the Pnim, in the text, after the brackets. This is what the meaning of the pasuk is. Kasher, השמים, החדשים והארץ החדש אשר אני עושה, like the new heavens and new earth that I'm making. Kein yamid zarachem v'shimchem. So your seed and your name will stand. The gama neshamas you as neshamas chadashes mamish. Then also the neshamas will be also new neshamas. So that's the point when the pasuk is saying, just like there's going to be new heavens and new earth, meaning there's going to be new Torah, new Hamshachas Alakus, the same thing, there will be Zarachem V'Shimchem. There will be new neshamas, totally new, of a completely different type of level. So with that, we answer the general idea and question that we asked at the beginning of the Maimer. What is he trying to say? The comparison of the Zarachem V'Shimchem to the level of Shamayim Chadashim V'Aretz Chadashim. So now the Rebbe is going to bring in, like always, practically, whenever he talks about an Indian that's like over the top and amazing, that's going to be, when Mashiach comes, he always links it with us. It still has to do with the present and has to do with our avodah and has to do with what we're doing now. So he says in Isaiah line 9, Amnam still no. Afal pishal asid love ye Hashemayim chadash and baratz chadash goymer aimdim lefani. Though when Mashiach comes, it will be the new heavens and new earth standing before me in such a way that's an inspiration from above. That's totally above any type of effect of us down here. It's not something, like we said before, that we can accomplish through our avodah, that we can reach through our avodah. It's incomparably higher, the new heavens and the new earth, to the heavens being my throne and the earth being my footstool that's at present. Despite that, even then, when Mashiach comes, they're still called Shamayim Va'aretz. It's the very same name that heavens and earth are called now. Seemingly, if something is completely different, so if it's completely different, it should be called by a different name. Why do you call it by the same name? That shows that despite how new and how different it is, there's still an association between the two. According to the teaching of the Baal Shem Tov and Mizrish Magid and the Pasuk, whatever a person calls it, any living soul, whatever name Adam Rishon gave it, that is its name. So they explained that the actual name that an item and a being is called in Lashon Kodesh, that is the life force and vitality of that thing that's called by that name. And that is why only Adam Rishon could call the animals by the names. Even Malachim did not have that capability, because Adam Rishon's wisdom was higher than Malachim, and he knew how to appreciate and see within the physical creatures down here their spiritual source. So therefore, moving, it's understood. The fact that they're called by the same name, the heavens of Mashiach's times and the heavens at present, the earth of Mashiach's times and the earth at present, indicates the association between them. So where do we see the association? This will be understood according to what it's known. The loss of love, the ultimate perfection and the ultimate completion that everything will reach when Mashiach comes, is dependent on our actions and service throughout the 6,000 years of the world. And specifically, like the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya, during the time of Golus, we are the ones that are affecting and bring about what's going to happen when Mashiach comes. Ubepratis, and even more specifically, what type of avodah, or when in this period is the avodah that's most responsible for this? Be'ikvus of the Mashiach, during the heels of Mashiach. Why? Why isn't it throughout the time of Golus the same? He says, the Chazal say that the work of something is called by the name of whoever completes it, even though there could be different people that participated in it, yet still in all, the one who gives the final touch, the final blow, the final completion, they get like to sign their name on it. They get to sign off on it. So since our generation, the generation of the heels of Mashiach, are the ones that actually complete it, so it's like we are the ones that actually bring about. And it's not just like the fact that it's called that way, that means that we have a greater part, if you will, in bringing about Mashiach's times. But we started off by saying it's not by Yisrus Sata, Yisrus Eila. So how can we say both things? It's not that our avodah can draw this down because it's way higher than anything we can reach. It's way higher than, say, the Rishtalshus. On the other hand, we're saying that we're the ones that are doing it. How do these two things fit together? So he says in line 26, this matter is not in a way of cause and effect, or measured for measure, that we know that Hashem pays back and rewards us according to what we do, in a way of quid pro quo. By our inspiration down here below, we draw down the inspiration from above. It's not in that type of way. but rather it's in a different way, in a way that Hashem only resides in a perfect place. Meaning, our job is to make this place as perfect as humanly possible. Once we have made this perfect, so then Hashem can come in over here. So it's not that we are pulling Hashem down, because the levels that we're talking about over here are beyond our reach. But what we're doing is we're setting the stage and making the place available and complete enough that Hashem can now choose to come down here. Top of the next page, the Dibra Maskal Tzanavaren, the Maimer titled Tzanavaren, even that inspiration from above, that is completely incomparable to it's incomparable to the inspiration from above that comes after an inspiration from below. In other words, there is the inspiration from below, then there's the level that is within Seder Ishtalshlus, that inspiration from below can draw that down. Then there's an inspiration from above that's completely beyond that other level of inspiration from below. It cannot be tapped into by inspiration down here below. Still in all, Eina Shoiro Mizgale does not rest and become revealed. Only when there is a perfection in the actions of those down here below. After it comes down upon them, the inspiration from above. That's comparable and a result of the inspiration down here below. So then it can rest and become revealed also that level of inspiration from above that's way beyond the inspiration from below. Because we've set the stage, we've perfected our environment to allow for Hashem's ultimate level to come down. I've used this analogy before, I'll say this again. That, for example, you can have a king visiting a very simple village in his kingdom. There is nothing that any one of these very simple villagers in their simple home can do to impact the king and to cause that the king should want to come down and visit them, to visit him in his particular home. Because what is the villager's home, as beautiful and as perfect as it might be, in comparison to the royal palace? But when the king sees that there's one, let's say, for example, one particular home in the village that went out of its way to prepare itself to greet the king, completely whitewashed the fence and planted new flowers in the garden, and it stands out, if you will, in its beauty and welcoming aspect. So it's very likely that when the king chooses to visit one of the villagers' homes, it will be the home of this villager that's outstanding and unique. In a similar fashion, we cannot do anything to draw down the level of Pnimius Atik, but we can make our home, we can make the world the most welcoming manner possible by doing everything in our power to complete it, by doing our Yisrus L'Sata that brings down the Yisrus L'Eila Shebe'erech, and then there can come down the Yisrus L'Eila that's totally beyond our reach, the level of Pnimius Atik. So he continues in line 9, because it's still being affected by our avodah, it's not completely that we're not contributing whatsoever. We're going to have to stop over here.